So welcome back. Now I'm joined by Tapan Singhal, Chairman of General Insurance Council and MD and CEO of Bajaj General Insurance. Thank you so much, sir, for joining and talking to ET now, sir. Sir, what's your first reaction on Insurance Act Amendment Bill, Sabka Bima Sabki Suraksha? Because in the final bill, value-added services, composite license and open architecture for individual agents is not included. So is there some sort of disappointment there?
Thank you, Anurag. It's always a pleasure talking to you. So to answer your question, let's look at it like this. What are the expectations that the industry had from the government, from the bill? First was we spoke about 100% FDI. We had mentioned that. Second, we had mentioned about the registry, about the KYC norms or identification of every policy holder in a way. So the ranking happens, the way rating happens when CIBIL, the underwriting is better. No, frauds get eliminated. Which was there. Third, we'd also mentioned about MGA to be coming into the Indian market. Fourth, we also talked of easing of the reinsurance requirements in terms of so that we have more reinsurers and more capacity in the Indian market coming together. And if you also see, we had spoken about how do we look at a distribution which opens up. And we also spoke about, like you said, about opening up of distribution, which was there. We also spoke about value-add services which is there. So if I look at all the requests that we have, most of it has got accepted as part of the bill and is put together. The two, which was very important again from our perspective, one was value-add services, because if you look at insurance industry can't sell anything other than insurance as per the Insurance Act, which was in 1938, which had this part. Well, if I look at banking or if I look at other financial services, they can sell other products, which is there. For insurance, it was essential because it was looking at solving people's worries, and it has to create an ecosystem in today's time to be able to do so. And that is where a value-added service would be helpful. But if you ask my first reaction, I'm very happy with all that has got done. And it shows that the government listens. So in my view, first, what has got done, if we are able to implement it well, make a huge difference, because it's very good for policyholder, it's very good for innovation from the NGA perspective, it's very good for FDI, it's very good for employment generation. Huge task at hand. Once we're able to achieve this, and then we'll obviously have the request of what is there. And I'm very sure that in the future, we should be able to get that. So a lot of excitement for what has got approved, because again, a lot of work. It is not as simple as it sounds. Once the ball is in our court, we have to work a lot to be able to deliver on this. And as you work and deliver on this and we complete this, then we move to the next step.
So you spoke about the MGA. Could you please help us understand how this new agent framework will work and what additional power they will have after that is mentioned in the bill?
Yeah. So if you look at it, Anurag, as our agency developed, now we have agents who are able to understand business and the complexity of it, look at some of the interesting risk and do that. So at the early stage, maybe an MGA would not be the answer, because it requires maturity and development of the distribution force which would be there. Now, if you look at our country, 25 years of opening up, a lot of new products, innovations, the rise in the global market in terms of position of the insurance industry, all this happened. People understanding, the distributor understanding the risk, putting it together, finding solution happen. And MGA, actually, they are able to get underwriting powers. They also are able to get some claims handling powers. They're able to identify spots in which there's a niche which has to be addressed. Maybe the surety bond, if we look at right now, the MSME part which is there, which can be addressed. And since they are able to also have the understanding of businesses, they have more powers to be able to create a solutioning for these issues which have not been fully solved or addressed to. And they become the link between the insurance company and the customer in terms of delivering these values. So it's a matured form of agency. If you look at most of the matured markets like UK, US, you would find them as very interesting and very big players who make a huge difference in terms of putting this risk together. And they write a lot of interesting solutioning and business together. So that is why I said for India, it also leads a path for creating more innovation, more solutioning for customers, more empowerment at the distribution level. So distributors which have reached a level of maturity, I'm very sure they'll move to this MGA part. We'll also get a lot of MGAs coming from international markets who will bring in their expertise to put this together and get to the next wave. So it's a very, very big move and the right time for the country.
So you mean to say that agents will be more empowered and there will be more avenues for agents and brokers, sir?
Yeah, though no, brokers are different, Anurag.
Okay, only for agents.
MGA is different. You have taken MGA license, no, and it's a different category of distribution. But
Okay.
people who understand business, who have a level of maturity, are the ones who can move to this and they can put it together.
Okay, sir. Sir, in the bill, we have seen that IRDA is empowered to on commission, remuneration, reward. So, sir, how big is this development? And the initial discussions also on the insurance industry with the new chairman is going on the rationalization of commission. So, what is the industry's expectation and what is the intent of new chairman also on the commission front?
See, Anurag, one, I'm very excited with our new chairman. I think his intent from a policyholder perspective, his intent from making a difference to the industry and to the country is unbelievable and amazing. So I think that is what he's working on to get that. So I'm very sure that he would be very, very clear about what has to be done. Now, I can only speak from the industry's behalf and from the behalf of the way I look at it. See, I've always mentioned this in the past also, that for any industry, what's good for customer, what's good for policyholder is good for the industry, is good for the nation. I think the obsession should be at the customer level. Now, if there is any kind of discrepancy in delivery to the customer, that has to be corrected, that has to be regularized. So in a business, the customer should get the maximum value, which would be there in terms of what the customer drives. Now, this empowerment of the regulator ensures that if there are aberrations in the system, that will be corrected. But what really excites me in the empowerment is not only about fine at one level, fine maybe whatever 1 crore to 10 crore, whatever fine structure comes, but any wrongful gains also in the system which has been done can also be recovered. Now that makes this very, very interesting. That ensures that nobody would be taking it lightly when it comes to policyholder delivery, which would be there. And that is something which I'm really looking forward to, because that would actually ensure that even though the industry has one of the least grievances, it will ensure that from a policyholder perspective, it gets more powerful. So.
Okay, sir. Policyholder perspective. Policyholder should be beneficial at the end. Thank you so much, sir, for joining our show and explaining the details of insurance bill. Thank you so much, Tapan Singhal, sir, for all your views, sir.
Thank you, Anurag. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Okay, so that's a time for a wrap on this edition. But stay tuned after the break. Closing trade.